Welcome to the Pick Vault. Taking sports gambling to the next level. No more winging it. It's time to get paid. We're a sports gambling consultation firm. We use sports, news, sports data, stats, and analytics. And we help you unlock your money. Get ready to start winning. This is the Pick Vault. And here's Matt Taylor.
It's the Pick Vault. Gonna sit you down and listen to this real talk. Ain't no first or second option, this the default. Turning picks into these dollars, gonna let them fall. Raining down these daily winnings like an aerosol. Analytics calculated just to win it all. Problems when it comes to choosing, we got all them solved. Got the picks that need him fixed, and you know who to call. Cause this the Pick Vault.
And he is right. That is J Live Official. Make sure you guys go check him out on Apple Music at J Live Official here on Instagram. And again, welcome to Monday Night Football. Tonight we have a special edition of the Pick Vault podcast. Today, again, I'm back with my co-host, none other than SALLYPICKS 585 Bets. For, again, everyone out there, make sure you guys go follow SALLYPICKS 585 Bets on Instagram. I said it last week. I said he lost 2 games heading into our podcast last week, and I said it's time to hop on the train because when he loses 1 or 2, that's when he gets hot, and that's when he goes on a streak, 10, 11, 12 games, and that's where the streak went this time. So, Sally, welcome back to the Pick Vault. Tonight we got a game, and I know it's very important to you, not only because you're an NFL fan, a big sports bettor, a handicapper, but because your team's on the field tonight in a big matchup and a lot of playoff implications on the line tonight. The New England Patriots are heading into Bills Mafia land. They're heading into New York to take on the Buffalo Bills. So as we hop in, I'm going to let you dive into this game. Give me your initial thoughts about your Bills tonight going up against Bill Belichick's Mac Jones and the New England Patriots, who have been the surprise of the NFL season so far.
I feel like this is a playoff game, man. And I tell you what, man, this game tonight in Buffalo, that atmosphere, that stadium is going to be rocking, okay? I'm excited. I mean, I just can't wait. I'm like looking at the clock just to see how many more hours until this game starts. I mean, this is the biggest game right here of the season, and I think this is probably the biggest Monday night game thus far through the season. I tell you what, man. This matchup tonight, I mean, the Patriots right now are the hottest team in the NFL. And look at the last 5-6 weeks, I've made a lot of money off New England. You know that, and the world knows that. I'm just telling you what, man, it's going to be tough for Mac Jones, which has played great all year long, going into this stadium tonight against the Buffalo Bills. Not only the Buffalo Bills, man, you got the Bills Mafia. All I'm going to say is I'm pumped up, and I can't wait. Can't wait, man.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of touched on a few things there, and I'm going to dive into them a little further now. I mean, talking about Mac Jones, I mean, that's where we got to start the conversation because that has been the storyline, though, so far for the NFL, but really for this Patriots team. They're 8-4 at this point in the season. They're looking like a playoff team, a team that can contend. A lot of people are now talking about them being the leader in the AFC and everyone else kind of trailing behind them. With a win tonight, the Patriots take sole advantage, or the number one, the only team in first place in the AFC, and obviously a Bills win would put them in first place, tied with the Titans right now if they get a win tonight, the Buffalo Bills. So this game is very important, and you touched on it on Monday Night Football, primetime football. It's sometimes a different atmosphere. This game in the AFC East for a young quarterback like Mac Jones going into a Monday Night Football playoff kind of atmosphere against a team in your division, a team with a defense. And the storyline tonight, and I want to get your thoughts on it, is the weather. I mean, you're out there in Rochester yourself. You're in the area. But from all the reports, and again, I'm not there on the ground, but from all the reports out there right now, we're talking about low 20s tonight for the whole game time. And on top of it, 40 to 50 mile an hour winds. What's the weather like? And do you think Mac Jones can get the job done tonight with Bills Mafia, that defense, and like I said, rough weather in a playoff atmosphere?
I'm looking at my Italian flag right now, and that Italian flag is not moving. It's going like this. It's going over the house. I mean, it's windy out here. It's windy out here, Roger. They're calling for 40 mile-an-hour winds, maybe 50-mile-an-hour winds. That's like a little tornado, a little hurricane going through Orchard Park. I can't wait. I tell you what. Buffalo Bills does not have a strong run game. They don't. And Patriots, their run game's been very solid the last 5 or 6 weeks. But when it comes down to tonight, is Josh Allen going to be the Josh Allen that everybody thought at the beginning of the season was going to run away with the MVP? And thus far, look, he has good games, but then he has real bad games. Has good games. He needs to step it up tonight, and he needs to be the X factor. And look, I'll tell you what, where else would you rather be than right here, right now? Who circles the wagon better than the Buffalo Bills and the Bills Mafia? Let's go.
Yeah, no, I mean, the storyline for the Bills is Josh Allen. Is he the MVP? Is he that guy? Is he the consistency? I mean, he talked about it. He has good games and he has bad games. He shows up, then he doesn't show up. He needs to be consistent. And what's funny is when you're talking about the Patriots, they're the most consistent team throughout history of the NFL, especially over the last 20 years. And the one thing I want to touch on is Mac Jones is the long-term solution for this team. He is the Tom Brady of the future. And when I say the Tom Brady of the future, I'm talking about he is the system quarterback that Bill Belichick waited. Tom Brady, let's be honest for a second, when he was in New England, he was a system quarterback. And over 20 years, he became the system. And the system in New England, and it's the same system now, is we're going to be very disciplined. You and I talk about it all the time. This Patriots team is so disciplined. I watched them run away 7 minutes on the clock. I think it was against the Chargers a few weeks back. They finally took the lead. They took 7 minutes off the clock in the fourth quarter. So the first part of this Patriots system is about discipline. Then it's about their defense, and you touched on it. This Patriots defense is elite. Their secondary is a top 3 secondary in the NFL. They got a great front seven. And again, Bill Belichick is known for scheming for quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, veteran quarterbacks. And tonight his scheme's going to be up against, again, a great quarterback option in Josh Allen for the Bills. And then the last part of that system for New England is no mistakes. Don't make mistakes. And that's what Mac Jones has been able to do, and that's what Tom Brady was able to do for 20 years in New England. We're not going to make mistakes. We might not be putting up crazy numbers on a weekly basis or putting up superstar caliber numbers all the time, but we're going to play smart. We're going to play defense. We're not going to turn the ball over. We're going to make you beat yourself. And at some point in that 20-year run with Tom Brady, he was a system quarterback and became the system. And I'm going to say something right now. Mac Jones is fitting right back into that Bill Belichick system. And the funny thing about it is, we're not talking about Bill Belichick. Everyone's talking about Mac Jones. He gets the credit. And for 20 years, Tom Brady got the credit in New England. All I'm going to say is, at this point, to have a young quarterback who comes in the league his first year at a rookie, do what he's doing, you got to give credit to McDaniels and you got to give credit to Bill Belichick.
Absolutely. Look at this guy's a young stud. He's a Bama-made quarterback. Did I think that he was going to be this good this early? No, I didn't. But, as the weeks progress, man, I mean, he's getting better and better. He's got a 2-to-1 ratio. I mean, he's got 16 touchdowns to 8 interceptions, which is very good, okay? And he controls the game. And like me and you talk every week is how disciplined this New England Patriots team is. I mean, that 7-minute drive, I know exactly what you're talking about because me and you were on the phone. I mean, they knew they were actually sliding on the turf when there were still 6 minutes left in the game just to keep that clock going, okay? You're not going to see New England get stupid false starts. You're not going to see them getting a lot of holding penalties. You're not going to see them make them stupid mistakes because they're well-disciplined. And I'll tell you what, come the fourth quarter, being a well-disciplined team like that, it wears on the other team. And that's why New England in the fourth quarter, they win these games, man, and it's a system, and it's always been a system. Like you said, Tom Brady was the system, okay? And now Mac Jones, listen, Belichick knew something when he got rid of Cam Newton, okay? He knew that this kid was a young stud, and he knew the potential of this kid. And look at, kudos to him. I think he's running away with Rookie of the Year. I don't even think there's an argument anybody else that could take it. This guy, for what he's done, in his first year as an NFL. We're talking an NFL quarterback. This isn't college. The speed in NFL is so much faster. Look at the guy is a pro. He is the franchise of New England.
Absolutely. I mean, it's funny to talk about, and we're going to dive in. We could talk about these storylines all day, but the funny thing about this is you just said Mac Jones is running away with Rookie of the Year. I couldn't agree anymore. He's actually probably the best quarterback option moving forward, and I said this to you right on draft day. I said, everyone's hyped about Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, but don't fool Justin Fields. Don't fool yourself. I'm like, Mac Jones is the most consistent option long term. Now, He had to end up in the right situation, and for him, he did. What the funny thing is you just said he's running away with Rookie of the Year. I think Belichick is also running away with Coach of the Year. And if you really think about it, Tom Brady, old New England, running away with MVP. So it's going to be a crazy environment heading down the stretch in the AFC and the NFC and the NFL in general. But let's really, shift the focus from specifically talking about the storylines of this game, and let's dive into this game specifically. But before we do, Sal, we got to remind everyone out there that the Pick Vault is for entertainment purposes only.
The following media content is for entertainment purposes only and should not be used for the purpose of in-person or online, legal or illegal sports wagering or gambling of any kind. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. By continuing to watch this media content, you're accepting the Pick Vault LLC's terms of use, terms of conditions, and privacy policy located at www.thepickvault.com.
All right, again, now that that's out of the way, we could dive in and talk about the games, the lines, everything for the picks for tonight. And what's funny is here on the Pick Vault podcast, Sal and I both give you guys out every pick. I mean, no one else is doing this here on Instagram, so you guys know exactly what you're getting when you sign up for the Pick Vault mobile app. Again, all you got to do is go to the Apple App Store, Google Play Store, or click the link on Instagram and download the Pick Vault mobile app. Again, it's less than $1 a day. We give a 7-day free trial, and you guys are listening to picks right now here on Instagram, right now here on YouTube. Wherever you're listening to this, you're hearing picks that are giving out on the Pick Vault mobile app. This is your trial right now. So sign up for the Pick Vault mobile app. And as I mentioned before, SALLYPICKS 585 Bets is on Instagram giving out $100 a week packages. He does special promos. I know he gave out a $40 pick this weekend. This guy wins more than anyone else on Instagram. So if you guys aren't following him, if you guys don't have his packages, again, I always say it here on this podcast, you either don't want to win or you're crazy. It's one of the two. So again, Pick Vault Nation, make sure you guys go check out SALLYPICKS 585 Bets on Instagram and download the Pick Vault mobile app today. Now, Sal, let's dive into some player props for tonight. I think this is, I think tonight, when you're talking about a Monday Night Football game between two teams in the same division, two teams in the playoff hunt, I think it comes down to, it's a big player prop night for me and the Pick Vault. And let's dive into some player props. So I'm going to throw it out your way first, Sal. What's a player prop you love tonight for Monday Night Football?
Well, I know me and you were just talking about some player props tonight. Look, it's going to be windy there, okay? I mean, it's going to be tough to throw the ball tonight. So, I mean, with that being said, man, I'm going to go with Josh Allen anytime touchdown. I think he finds his way into the end zone. I think he's going to have to scramble tonight just because of the weather, the wind. I could see them being in the red zone at like the 8-yard line, 10-yard line. I could see him taking off. So my best player prop tonight is Josh Allen anytime touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, Allen has to have a big day. Again, we talked about it. He has to assert himself as that consistent answer for Buffalo, and he also has to reinsert himself in the MVP conversation because, as we mentioned, Tom Brady is running away with it right now, putting up crazy numbers, doing things we have not ever seen him do, and that's crazy to say for the greatest quarterback of all time. And it's time for Josh Allen to get back in the race. So I do like Josh Allen to score anytime touchdown score, rushing one in today. You could see him do a QB sneak. And I always think about this. When a quarterback or anyone for that matter in primetime football botches something early in the season, if you guys remember going back to the early weeks of the season, he didn't get that 3-yard or 2-yard, whatever it was, rush to end the game. They lose the game on a nail-biter. I think he bounces back today, and again, the back of people's mind, they'll remember him not getting it in primetime football, and tonight he'll bounce back and do the opposite. So I love that play, Sal. Josh Allen, anytime touchdown score. Now let's give you guys some Pick Vault player props. Again, we went 4 for 5 last week. We are probably, again, I'm not going to say a blanket statement, but we're probably the best player prop pickers on Instagram or really anywhere for that matter. We always go, 4 for 5, 5 for 5. I think 1 week this season we went like 2 or 3 for 5. I can't remember, but we give out 5 picks. So here are the 5 picks for player props tonight in primetime Monday Night Football. First up, we got Kendrick Bourne over 28.5 receiving yards. Again, that goes back to the fact that in this Patriot system, what happens? No mistakes. Play smart football. Mac Jones keeps it short. I like Kendrick Bourne out of the backfield getting some short passes, being that safe option for Mac Jones tonight, over 28.5 receiving yards. Then we got Kendrick Bourne once again, over 2.5 total receptions. 2.5, that means you got to get 3 or more, and you cash that ticket. I could see that cashing in the first half of this game. Next up, we got Stephon Diggs, under 58 receiving yards. It comes down to this. New England has a top secondary in the NFL, and on top of it, we just touched on it, Sal, 40 to 50 mile an hour winds in this ball game tonight. It's going to be hard for anyone throwing the ball deep downfield, and Stephon Diggs is the deep threat. I mean, that's really how he gets a lot of his yards and a lot of his touchdowns is a deep pass. I don't see there being a lot of deep passes tonight, especially with New England secondary at that strength that they have. Next up, Devon Singletary, under 34.5 rushing yards. Again, this comes back. You got Moss back on the field tonight for the Bills. We touched on it. Breda last week had more workload, had a bigger workload, and it comes down to, you mentioned it, he hasn't been great this year for Buffalo rushing the football. He had 15 total rushes last week and only had 44 yards. I think he gets less touches this week, and I think he does go under that 34.5 total rush yards. And then finally, we got Dawson Knox, over 28.5 receiving yards. I touched on it. I think Diggs is going to get locked down a little bit tonight. I could see him scoring. I could see him scoring in prime time, but it comes down to Knox is the answer for Josh Allen tonight, especially when New England secondary is as strong as it is. So one more time, I'm going to run through them. Sally Picks gave out Josh Allen, anytime touchdown scorer. And then the pick vault gave out 5 plays. We got Kendrick Bourne, over 20.5 receiving yards. We got over 2.5 receiving total receptions for Kendrick Bourne. Stephon Diggs, under 58 total receiving yards. Devon Singletary, under 34.5 rushing yards. And finally, Dawson Knox, over 28.5 total receiving yards. I think those are some great plays. We get 6 total there from the pick vault and Sally Picks. And now, Sal, it's time to dive into Vegas by the numbers. Are you ready to roll?
I'm ready to roll. Let's go, man. Let's go.
I know you're not in Vegas. Did you miss it? Let's take a minute here. You missed Vegas. I know you were out there for 2.5. You were out there for 2-3 weeks. I mean, you were there a while.
I was there for almost 2 months, about 6 weeks. 6 weeks, and yeah, I do miss it. That last week, though, I was ready to come home, man. Do I miss Vegas? Yeah, but I miss my kids so much more, and it's just been good to spend time with the family. I'm going to go back out there on for the playoffs. I'll be back out in Vegas, so that's going to be fun. But I'm happy to be home right now. There's no place like home,
Of course. No place like home. And again, Buffalo home tonight. No place like Rochester. Again, if you're a Bills fan, you got to get excited about this game. You wanted, and here it is tonight in primetime football. Let's talk Vegas by the numbers, Sal. And again, it comes down to tonight, the spread's 3 points. So you got, obviously, the Bills laying 3 points. That could change by game time. I'm not exactly sure. I've seen it trending both directions, kind of in a back and forth here. And then the over-under is currently at 41 total points. That's an interesting number, again, with the wind, with the defenses. But also, we talk about the fact that both these teams have a great offense and have the ability to put up a ton of points at any moment. That 41 in primetime football is very interesting. We're going to dive into that as well. So let's start here with the spread. Again, 3 points is the spread. 77% of the total money tonight is on the Patriots, plus 3 points. That is a big swing. So 23% of the total money is on the Bills, minus 3. I'm going to let you, talk about what that means for you. I know you and I normally are with the public a lot of times. Tonight, I think we both are, we haven't given out our pick yet, but I think we both could be sharp bettors tonight and going the other way.
Yes, look, the spread's kind of a little weird to me. I think this game should be a pick 'em, okay? Maybe -1. I don't understand the -3. I mean, right now, New England is the hottest team in the NFL, okay? The Bills, the last 4 Bills games, they lost to Jacksonville. Then they bounced back. They beat the Jets, okay? They look good against the Saints. But then there was another game where they didn't look that good either. So, and the Patriots have just looked phenomenal. The last 6 weeks have looked phenomenal. So, yeah, they're at home. And, yeah, there's no place like Buffalo. The fans, the crowd, the momentum. It's a night football game. Look at that 3 points telling me the Buffalo Bills are -3. I'm all over Buffalo. I don't know if I like the spread as much as I like the money line, but I do see Buffalo winning this game tonight just by the way the spread looks. They shouldn't be favored in this game. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't think. What do you think?
It comes down to 3 points, and we talk about it all the time. 3 points is roughly the standard in the NFL for points given to the home team. So they're actually telling you, pretty much all the bookmakers out there are pretty much telling you this is a pick'em game, as you mentioned, Sal.
Yeah.
And the 3 points would be because of the fact that the Bills are at home. I think that's really the biggest difference. And now the money game is going to shift that line. We know that the money game will shift the line all night, and the over-under, the money game will shift all night. I do agree with you. I think tonight, if you are betting on the Patriots, you should not take money line. If you're betting on the Patriots tonight, you should take the 3 points totally and stay away from the money line. I don't care about value. I think it's a dumb bet to take Patriots money line. But if you like the Bills tonight, I don't think you lay 3 either. I think tonight is a money line bet if you're taking the favorite, and I think if you're taking the underdog, you got to take the points tonight, which we'll dive into further. Next up, we're going to talk about is money line. I just touched on it. 48% of the total bets, but 60% of the money is on the Patriots money line, meaning big money in Vegas right now is on the Patriots to win the game. I just said money line bet would be dumb for the Patriots. Well, who am I? Because 60% of the total money is on the Patriots money line, which means on the other side, obviously 40% of the money is on the Bills money line and 52% of the bets. Again, a little bit of a swing there, meaning big bettors are taking the Patriots, smaller bettors are taking the Bills money line. What are your thoughts on that?
Wow, it's interesting to me. That is interesting to me. It's still early though. It's still early. I mean, about an hour before the game, I'd like to check where that's at because I could see this line because it's been fluctuating from 2.5 to 3. I think it opened up at 2.5. I don't know. Some sites it's at 3 right now. Other sites it's at 2.5. But I like to see what that stat is probably about an hour before the game because I could see a lot. Look, I think the public is going to be all over New England. I really do. I think the public's going to be all over New England just because of how good they've been playing the last 6 or 7 weeks. Tonight, I mean, can I give the pick or no? Are we going to wait to give the pick out?
We can give the pick. We'll get the pick at the end. We'll give it. You can grease the wheels and everything at the end, get everyone pumped up. But it comes down to, you touched on it there. I mean, it comes down to the public is going to be on the Patriots tonight, and deservingly so, to be honest with you. You touched on it before. This Patriots team has looked so consistent over the last 6 weeks. They've looked great. Everyone's been making money. It's kind of like, if it's not broken, well, why try to fix it? Stick with the Patriots bandwagon. But again, tonight, in any type of divisional game, for me, the home team's got to get the edge, even without the fact that I think the Bills are the better overall team on paper, talent-wise. Now, that doesn't mean that the Patriots can't beat them. They absolutely can. It comes down to coaching, comes down to situational stuff. As I mentioned, all the intangibles that is the Patriots system. But on paper, this Bills team has a better quarterback. Frankly, on paper, I think they have more weapons on the offense by far. By far. And then when you talk about the defense, I think they're pretty even defensively on paper. Now, scheme-wise, I do think Belichick has that team playing great defense and looking like a championship-caliber defense. We'll dive into that, which is funny because the next thing on the board is over-under. So I'm going to go your way. Right now, we got 38% of the bets and 64% of the total money, again, meaning heavy bettors in Vegas are taking the under tonight. 64% of the money is on the under 41, and 36% of the money is on the over 41. Where do you lay on this? And again, when you're talking about fading the public, I touched on it. People are taking into account the wind. They're taking into account the fact that Belichick's a defensive coach. The Bills at home are normally a defensive-minded team. Are we getting fooled tonight?
I like the under. I do. It's at that low number for a reason. Obviously, the weather's got a big thing to do with it. It's going to be windy, man. Like I said, this is going to be run first tonight, It's going to be a defensive battle. I could see this game being like a 20-17 game. I could see this game being, a 13-10 game. I really think that under is going to hit tonight. Look, I'm not an over-under better, but if I was to bet this game, I would go with the under because people are going to look at it like public people are going to look at it and think, wow, that's such a low number. I'm hammering the over. It's at that number for a reason. And I could see that number. I could see it falling just short. I like the under.
Yeah. Right now you got a lot of money coming in on the under in total, whether that's public, whether that's big money. Just from a money standpoint, as I mentioned, 64% of the total money on the under. And for some reason, for me, I'm not totally disagreeing. I don't like betting the over-under. You know that. But I do think we see the over tonight. I think everyone's thinking about the weather. Everyone's thinking about the defense. Everyone's thinking about the fact it's a divisional game, which normally means a lower scoring game because they know each other well. But tonight, I think this could be a different game. I think we could see Mac Jones against Josh Allen just going at it. back and forth, which would be so fun in primetime football. So, again, before we dive into giving the picks and ending this episode, I do want to go back to one point I forgot to mention before, going back to the player props. The one thing I want to remind Pick Vault Nation is for Singletary. I said take Devon Singletary under 34.5 rushing yards. Here's the thing. You should wait until game time for this one. This is a note I put down here before. Wait until game time to place this bet because the public right now is all over the over. So that number is going to keep going up and you get the under at a higher number. So wait until, last minute. If you could wait until like 8 o'clock, 8:15. I know the game's kicking off at 8:20, I believe. 5 minutes before game time. If you can get this in, Devon Singletary under whatever the number is, because it's only going to go up. Right now it's at 34.5. Take the under Devon Singletary right before game time. So again, that was a note I wanted to remind everyone while we're talking about money and where things are going in Vegas. That's one point I did want to touch on. So lastly, it's time, Sal, to lock in our plays for tonight. It's time to give everyone, grease the wheels, jump on the train. I know you're going to get excited because tonight we're talking about your team. I see you got the uniform on. I see you got the hat on. I see the logos behind you. What do you got tonight? I want a score projection, and I want to pick against the spread, money line, and then your lock of the night, Sal. Let's hear it here on Pick Vault Nation.
All right. You guys ready to grease the wheels? Are you guys ready to grease the wheels? Let's grease the wheels. Let's jump on the train and let's go. Choo-choo. I'm all over the Bills tonight. Bills Mafia. I'm telling you what, like I said, nobody circles the wagon better than the Buffalo Bills and the Bills Mafia. Buffalo Bills win this game. It's going to be a close game. I'm going to say 20-17. I'm all over my 10-unit play. Buffalo Bills, money line, -140. Let's go, team. Hit the train. Hit the train.
So you heard it there. Again, that was the train. And again, Sal always says it. You're either on the train or you're on the tracks. And if you're not on the train, you're going to get run over. And that's what's happening tonight. So again, one more time, I'm going to say it for you guys out there. Sal just gave you a pick for free. You could wait for this one. Let it hit so you guys know this guy's legit. Because I'll tell you right now, again, Sal and I have become getting closer and closer for the last 6 months. We now have a great friendship and obviously a great partnership here with the Pick Vault. And it comes down to this. Sal is the most consistent sports bettor I've seen ever on Instagram, and it's time for you guys to hop on the train, hop on the tracks, and make some freaking money because, again, that's what we're here for. We're here to make money and obviously do it watching sports. And tonight this guy has a lot of passion for his Bills, but I know this pick is all about his brains and everything he's doing from a handicap perspective. Last up, I'm going to give the Pick Vault play out there to everyone here, and tonight the Pick Vault is all over the Bills money line. Again, Sal and I, we normally are on the same team. We normally, and for the last few weeks, we've disagreed, and I don't think either of us have done great in the primetime games back and forth. But when him and I are on the same page, when the Pick Vault and Sally Picks are on the exact same page, that's when you know you got to lock the shit in because tonight we got the Buffalo Bills winning 23.2 to the Patriots 20.1, a 3.1 point win for the for the Bills over the Patriots, and we got the total points right there. Again, brought to you by the artificial intelligence back computer simulations that is the Pick Vault. We got the total points at 43.3 points, which would be over, and I like the over as well. So the plays we're going, I don't do a spread play in this ball game. I stay away from the spread. Do Bills money line, and then the over 43.3. And I gave out 5 player props before. I know Sal gave out a player prop for you guys as well. Josh Allen, anytime touchdown score. I'm going to run through these one last time for Pick Vault Nation, starting with Sally Picks. He's got Josh Allen. Anytime touchdown score. The Pick Vault's got Kendrick Bourne over 28.5 receiving yards, over 2.5 receptions for Kendrick Bourne's as well. We got Stephon Diggs under 58 total receiving yards. We got Devon Singletary under 34.5 rushing yards. And then finally, we got Dawson Knox over 28.5 receiving yards, the tight end for the Buffalo Bills. He's going to have a big day, and the Bills are going to have a big day because Sally Picks is taking the Bills money line. The Pick Vault's taking the Bills money line. And also the over 41. And it's time to have a big night, Sally Picks. I'm going to give you a moment here before we hop off to say anything to Pick Vault Nation. Say everything to Sally Picks 585 Nation. What do you got to say to everyone out there?
Listen, I just want to say to everybody out there, man, look, let's make some money tonight, man. I want to say something to you, Matt. Look, we've become great friends, man. I look at you like a little brother. And, for you even having me on this podcast, man, means a lot to me. And I just know you, and I know you know that, man. I really appreciate it, man. And me and you as a team, we work so good together. And like you just said, you just mentioned this, man. Usually when me and you are on the same page and we're on the same side, guys, you better lock that shit in, man, because we're probably 85%. I'm not just making that number up. When me and him are on the same side, it usually is a winner chicken dinner. I love the Bills tonight. It's going to be a great game. I'm excited. I can't wait. Like I said, I'm counting down the seconds, man. Let's make some money tonight. Let's slap the books. Let's grease the wheels. Let's jump on the train and let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Bills.
And again, if that doesn't get you guys ready to take the Buffalo Bills, then there's nothing that will. Again, watch primetime football, make some money tonight, and we will be back here for a special edition of the Pick Vault for Thursday Night Football. And again, Pick Vault Nation, I'm going to remind you guys, as we head into the NFL playoffs, we head into the college football playoff. I know Sal and I, we got a few announcements to make. We got a few partnerships I'm sure we're going to be announcing in the coming days, weeks, months, whatever it ends up being. There'll be a few deals I know coming up here in the future, and it comes down to this. College football playoff. We're going to be doing a big live podcast during the college football playoff. And I'm actually working, and Sally and I have been talking about this. We've been actually working on getting you guys to be able to bet with us during the games, meaning you'll get to see us live while the games are going on. I know people talk about the Peyton Manning and Eli Manning, broadcast for ESPN. I know I've been talking about doing a few things like that here on the Pick Vault mobile app, where you could actually watch Sal and I watch the game with you guys and bet with you guys along the way, which will be really fun. So again, a lot of things coming up here in the future for the Pick Vault and for Sally Picks 585 Bets. And we will see you back here, as I mentioned, for Thursday Night Football. Let's make some money tonight. Pick Vault Nation, we are OUT out.
You've been listening to the Pick Vault, America's premier sports gambling consultation firm, are ready to make you a winner and unlock your money. Make sure to hit the website at www.thepickvault.com. Find the app and subscribe to receive exclusive member content, including our picks, live updates, and sports news. Follow on Twitter and Instagram at The Pick Vault, taking sports gambling to the next level. Till next time, this is The Pick Vault, signing off.
This the Pick Vault. Gonna sit you down and listen to this real talk. Ain't no first or second option, this the default. Turning picks into these dollars, gonna let them fall. Raining down these daily winnings like an aerosol. Analytics calculated just to win it all. Problems when it comes to choosing, we got all them solved. Got the picks that needin' fixed and you know who to call. Cause this the Pick Vault.